Hi everybody, Wendy here from Lolly Dolly Crafts. What I'm bringing to you today is I'm going to do a little card series explaining to you how I create layers and depth on the cards that I make. So you get a more, not, I wouldn't say professional look, but a more sort of like finished look to make the cards that you create look or have a nicer finish. So I'm just going to for this first one I'm just going to explain to you a little bit about how I go about and some of the things that I normally do. I always tend to colour my image first, and that's mainly because I tend to sometimes sit of an evening when I'm not doing a project, and I'll colour some images up so that I've always got some ready. This is a Whimsy stamp image and I've coloured it with Distress inks. Okay, and I tend to, the cards I normally use are normally 6x6 ones, or 5.5, that sort of, but they're normally always square. So you can have this opening, side opening, you can make it into an easel card. You know, there's lots of different ways that you can use, but I do tend to use square cards. And then once I've created my and coloured my image, I always, when I'm stamping on an image, I always make sure that I leave a rough border around the image that I've stamped. So if I want to either cut it out as an oval or square or oblong, or however I want to use it, whether I want to use a shaped die, I would. So I want to make sure that I'm going to, you know, leave enough border that I can do that. If you cut it right up to the edge, you're not going to be able to do that, and the only shape that you're going to get is a, you know, whatever square one, or the shape of the, you know. So leave yourself a little bit of some room, cutting room. Also, once I've coloured an image, I would probably add some glitter to the, I haven't done that yet, but I would add, to give a nicer finish, glitter to the unicorn's mane and tail. That just gives a, you know, a nicer, prettier finish, and also possibly to the flowers. For my, when I create a card, you can either, there's lots of ways of, you don't have to, you can either have a very heavily over embellished card that without it looking like cluttered, it's still got a nice finish, or you can have a what they call a simple as card, and they can both look as effective as you know, as each other. And I'm going to show you a simple as card in this card series, as well as a more intricate card, and then I'll go on to show you different card shapes and styles that you can use. What I normally do as well is, once I've got my image, I will then find my matte colour and my colours that I'm going to use to create the card, and I will pick out some colours, you know, that are in the image that I've coloured. So like, because the mane on this card is sort of like a, you know, a nice sort of browny colour, I'm going to use this, I'm not sure what, it's from Kaiser Card. I'm actually not sure what the colour is, but anyway, I'm going to use that for my matte. Okay, and I'm also going to use these like pinky coloured, which has also got some of the same colour in as the matting. You can mix non-contrast colours for matting, but if you're going to do that, it's, you know, it's, I normally do something like that if I'm doing a kid's card or something, because, and have really bright bold colours, but for a more sort of subtle card, I would make sure that the tones are all, you know, sort of like flowing into each other. So these are the two pieces that I've chosen of card. I normally tend to always use a matte layer for the base of my card, okay, and I will make this card up for you. I'm just showing you sort of my thought process of how I normally do all my cards. So I would always have a matte layer for the base of the card, on the base of the card, leaving a border all the way around, and I will also show you how to the best way to get a good border, okay. And then I would have a coordinating paper. Now when I'm picking coordinating papers, I would go for something that's got, like you've got, ignoring this colour here, okay, so I'll just move that out of the way. Say I was going to use these two pieces of paper, cut pattern paper. Now I wouldn't use, see this one's got like chevrons on it, I wouldn't use this, and this one on the back has got stripes going sort of diagonally across. What I would do is I would use this chevron one, and then a flowery one that's a more intricate pattern with a plainer. It just gives for a better balance when you're creating a card. So like this one here has got this like flower and like wash look, and then some script on it, and it goes really well with this chevron, sorry, not chevron, striped pattern paper there, okay. This and this I wouldn't do, because these are both really busy papers, and it just doesn't look right for me in getting a balanced card, so it doesn't look, you know, over, you know, you want a nice balance. So I would use either a more intricate paper with a plainer, whether it be fine polka dots or not big ones for a card, but finer polka dots or stripes, or you know, something that's got very fine flowers on it, but not a bigger intricate like that, okay. So that's normally what I do when I'm looking for pattern papers. Also I then decide, I normally always use 2, sometimes 3 different sheets of pattern paper, and sometimes I also use 2 different colour matting. It all depends. Sometimes I do, but if I do use 2 different colours, it will all be within this, you know, the colour scheme. So like there's script on this one, I would use this colour matte, and then a darker. I think that for this that would match the script, so it'd all be, you know, sort of flowing. Okay, so that is my pattern papers. When I'm adding a picture or an image to a card, I always tend to decide before I add it to the card the shape that I'm wanting for my, so whether it be, like I said, an oval, a round, whatever, and I always mat that as well. So say like I cut this, if I just cut this out in a square, I would always, whether it be circle, oval, whatever, would have a mat underneath it as well, like that. It would be smaller, I'm just showing you version wise, okay, and I would always have a matte layer for that too. And when I'm adding pattern paper, I would always add a matte layer under the pattern paper too, okay. For every layer that I do, I would add a matching matte layer. This just gives a really finished look to any card you're making. If I just added, say like a white card, then added this to that card, alright, it looks okay. Okay, I'm not saying it doesn't look okay, but for a more finished look, so that it, you know, it just look, I just think it looks better. And I would add, you know, this. I would leave the white layer, have the matte layer, and then have my pattern paper. If I added, say, let's just swap this around, that's my base layer, and I'm adding another layer to my card, I would mat this also, and I would either turn it round so it's you know, a different angle, have a strip going down here, or another one possibly going across there, and then I would have, so say like that was my card layout. Okay, this is, I will show you, and then this would be cut smaller, and then my matte layer of my image, sorry, just make sure you can see this properly, would then be on top with some of the matte behind it as well. Okay, so that's basically how I start off a card before just creating the base for my card. So this is part 1. I will be back in part 2 when I have cut out the shape that I want to use on my card. I will trim down my layers for my mats, and I will also show you how to create different, to do different techniques to give different styles or finishes to the card, like distressing the edges of the card. I'll show you 2 different ways to do that. If you haven't got a particular distressing tool, I'll show you how to do that with using something you know, that you don't have to go out and buy an expensive, you know, or tool for the job. I will show you another way of doing it. Okay, so come back for part 2 in this card series, and I hope you're going to enjoy it. Thanks very much. Bye.